We want to get right to our top story this morning. We're staying on top of this investigation into a shooting right in front of San Diego Harbor Police headquarters. Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Time now is 6 a.m. I'm Nada Iranpour.
And I'm Evan Irani in for Eric Connor. Police say that they shot a man after he pointed a gun at officers. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live this morning outside of Harbor Police headquarters with the latest on this investigation. Good morning, Dana Marie.
Good morning. Well, this all happened yesterday afternoon around 1:30. Now, we're hearing from police about exactly what happened, and I'm going to break down the sequence of exactly what happened. So here's what police had to say.
There was numerous rounds that were fired. We don't have the exact count right now. It's still early on in the investigation. We're fact finders. We're trying to get to the bottom of it, what led this male here, why he was armed with a firearm, and all these questions hopefully will come out during the investigation.
San Diego Harbor Police say they received a call from a man at their front counter call box. Then we're told the 29-year-old man went back to his car, which was parked outside in this parking lot. An officer checked on that car, and some man with a gun in his hand pointed at the officer while retreating behind a pillar. That officer broadcasted on his police radio that the man had a gun, who continued to point. Then other responding officers came. That's when they fired that weapon, at that man. The sergeant and the lieutenant who responded to assist also fired their weapons. At that point, the man dropped the firearm and was taken into custody without further incident. He says the man received immediate first aid before being taken to the hospital. He is in critical condition this morning. The identity of that man is not being released at this time, and police say no officers were hurt. Now, if you have any information about exactly what happened, police are asking you to report that and call police. You can find more information on the details on CBS8.com. I'm Dana Marie McNichol, live on Harbor Island. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Dana Marie, thank you for that update. Developing right now, a San Diego police sergeant is in the hospital after being assaulted in the Gaslamp. This was about 2 a.m. yesterday. Officers were responding to a fight. It was near 5th and F Streets downtown, and the crowd reportedly attacked those officers. 2 of them were hurt. A sergeant has serious injuries right now. Several suspects were arrested. Another incident to let you know about in the Gaslamp area. Police are looking for the person who fired a gun towards a crowd. This happened about 3 a.m. yesterday at 6th and F Street. So an hour after that initial fight with the officers and the crowd, and then this just a block over. Police say the suspect was kicked out of a nightclub, then opened fire. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Anyone with information is asked to call police or call Crime Stoppers. Today, President Biden expected to announce new regulations for ghost guns. Police can build ghost guns at home from kits, so they're hard to trace or regulate. Now, the new rules would classify the individual components used to make ghost guns as being firearms. Manufacturers who sell ghost gun parts would also have to be licensed and have to run background checks on buyers.
1 person is dead and 3 others are in the hospital after a suspected human smuggling attempt. Shortly before 1 a.m. yesterday, authorities say a boat carrying 10 suspected migrants capsized near the Ocean Beach Pier. A bystander found one of the men washed up on the beach. Lifeguards performed CPR but were unable to revive him. 3 others were taken to the hospital, and the remaining people in that boat have not been found. Today marks a new effort to fix the confusing new traffic and bike lanes in Mira Mesa. Take a look at them on your screen here. We've been working for you to get to the bottom of this issue.
Yeah, neighbors have expressed their safety concerns. Now the city is taking action. CBS 8's Chris Groh live along Gold Coast Drive with what's going to happen there next. How will people be getting around there now, Chris?
Well, the city is going to reverse course, so they're actually going to go back to what neighbors are used to seeing, which instead of a single lane, you're going to have 2 lanes divided by 2 yellow lines. However, this is not the end of these what are called advisory bike lanes. Instead, Mayor Todd Gloria says that the next time they roll this out, it's going to be done with a lot more preparation.
We will discuss it with the community in advance, understand the concerns that are out there, and make sure that when we deploy this, that we can do it in a way that meets the community's expectations, is understood by both pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists. That we skip the public outreach.
And so then that's the plan. They're going to go back to what neighbors and residents here were used to seeing, but then take that time afterwards to educate, to inform them, the thing that they didn't do, the thing that was the #1 complaint that we heard from them, and then go back to these type of lanes. Because Mayor Todd Gloria says that these advisory lanes where you have, again, cars sharing that one lane with 2 bike lanes on either side, that's the future in certain neighborhoods in the city of San Diego. So it's not technically going away for good. It's simply going away for now. Now, the other question and the other thing that we heard so much from people who lived in areas where this was going in is simply, how did we get here? How is it that we had these type of lanes put in without any type of education? And Mayor Todd Gloria also explained that to us on Friday. He said, put it simply, they were trying to be efficient. When they went in and repaved, for instance, Gold Coast Drive right here, they decided, hey, look, why don't we also put in these lanes at the same time? But by doing that, they skipped the public outreach, and therefore Gold Coast Drive all of a sudden not only had brand new pavement, but also had in these lanes that sometimes drivers and also cyclists were confused by. But again, the city of San Diego, as well as Mayor Todd Gloria, says they will look to do this again in the future. But when they do that, it will come with more prep work and more public education. But to read more about what else the city had to say and about the work that we did for you, our viewers, you can go to CBS8.com and click on that story link. Evan and Netta.
All right, Chris, we appreciate that. This morning, grocery workers will begin voting on their contract with Ralph's, Vaughn's, and Albertsons. Workers were set to go on strike if they couldn't reach a contract deal. That tentative deal includes higher wages, better health care benefits, improved store safety, and a secured pension. Voting for San Diego workers will continue until Wednesday. Results will be released after union members across Southern California finish voting on Saturday.
Ukrainian troops, they're preparing now for what could be a decisive showdown with Russia. New satellite images show a massive 8-mile-long Russian convoy headed through Ukraine to the Donbass region. Russia is reportedly placing a veteran general who led the devastating campaign in Syria as the central commander of its war on Ukraine. The United Nations now says more than 4.5 million Ukrainians have left that country. And the number of those refugees coming to our border, that continues to grow at this hour. Immigration officials say about 4,000 people are now waiting in Tijuana, and less than 100 are being let into the United States every 2 hours. So we spoke with a 16-year-old who made the journey all by herself.
Scary moments, I'm not gonna lie, but everything's gonna be all right. I can get through it. I just believe in myself the same as my family does.
Yeah, traveling alone, dozens of volunteers have been providing refugees with food, water, and shelter. All right, let's send it over to Evan now with that change in our forecast. I mean, the heat of the week of last week is gone. Right?
Yeah, right, exactly. The 80s, 90s, record-breaking temperatures that we ran into, no longer the case as we kick off this new week. You can see the view outside, hazy, right? You can sort of make out the downtown skyline right here. You've got the Coronado Bridge off on the right-hand side of your screen. Camera trying to get a little bit of focus out there, and that is because it's gloomy out there to start off the morning. We're not seeing that clear start that we ran into at times last week. Instead, we've got quite a bit of cloud cover and cooler temperatures in play for today and tomorrow. Cooling over the course of today and tomorrow, in fact, before we start a brief warm up into the rest of the week. So here's infrared this morning. Satellite loop shows that those clouds are pretty dense across most of the coastline and through your inland valleys, even across the mountaintops. We do have, however, a high wind warning that'll take effect as we head into about 4 p.m. today. What we see is that gusts are going to start to increase. Those westerly winds are really going to pick up this afternoon and evening. They'll continue through early tomorrow morning, and then at 5 a.m. we'll see this wind advisory across your Imperial County locations expire and high wind warning for our local deserts and mountains expire. So 5 a.m. is the time frame where things start to die down, but between about now and then things are amping up quite a bit, and we'll see those gusts really intensify by the overnight hours. That's where we see 60 and 70 mile per hour gusts possible across your deserts mainly, but really countywide it is going to be a breezy afternoon and evening. You see how those clouds are going to hang out with us for most of the morning. They'll start to break apart by about the noon afternoon hour. Once those clouds break apart, it's only going to be a brief stretch. We'll see those temperatures climb into the mid-60s, slightly cooler than average, and then they'll come back together again. We even run into that slight chance of drizzle out there tonight into early tomorrow. That's where the best forecast aligns with the possibility of some wet weather in the mix. So again, tonight into tomorrow, a little bit of a drizzle along the coastline, possible a few 1/100ths of an inch across your mountains. Walking out the door right now, we're mainly in the 50s and 60s. A light jacket might help you out as you kick off the day. Want to switch gears to what's going on in traffic, though, as we start off the morning. So let's take you to the 94. This is where we see one crash. This is still in play in the La Mesa area. On the 94 eastbound, this is exit 7, Massachusetts Avenue, not causing any major backups or delays, and it doesn't look like we see any lanes blocked with this crash. They've been able to push this over to the right-hand shoulder. We are tracking a stalled vehicle as well on the 15 in the Escondido area. We'll bring you more information on that in just a few minutes.